Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable Jefferson nickels in U.S. history. The top 4 5-cent coins that every collector dreams of finding. While these nickels may seem like ordinary pocket change, certain era coins, rare silver wartime issues, and special condition varieties can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars on today's market. Money bag. The Jefferson nickel, first minted in 1938, has gone through many historic phases. From the wartime silver nickels, 1942 to 1945, to rare double-die errors and full-step varieties that serious collectors are always on the lookout for. These treasures are not just small coins, they are pieces of American history, carrying both beauty and value. Whether you're a collector or just someone who appreciates the significance of U.S. currency, this video is for you. Welcome back to the channel. Sparkle's backhand index pointing right, so let's dive right in and get started with number 1 on the list. The 1943 S. Jefferson nickel is not just an ordinary 5-cent coin. It is a masterpiece of history, scarcity, and national pride wrapped into a small piece of silver. Struck in San Francisco at the height of World War II, this coin carries a story that blends patriotism, innovation, and survival. Unlike regular nickels, which were composed of copper and nickel, the 1943 S was minted from an alloy containing 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, making it one of the rare war nickels that the U.S. Mint created to conserve nickel for wartime use. That shift gave the coin its distinctive character, both as a collectible and as a symbol of America's resolve. At first glance, the 1943 S. Jefferson nickel looks familiar, with Thomas Jefferson's thoughtful profile on the obverse and the elegant image of Monticello on the reverse. But one small detail reveals its true significance: the large S mint mark placed above Monticello's dome. This bold mark was a first in U.S. coinage history, as for the first time, mint marks were displayed prominently to differentiate the silver wartime issues from regular nickels. To collectors today, that S is more than just a letter. It is a beacon pointing to rarity, value, and historical weight. The context of its creation makes the coin even more remarkable. In 1943, the U.S. was deeply involved in the war effort, with soldiers fighting across Europe and the Pacific. Every ounce of nickel mined was diverted to military production for tanks, armor, and weaponry. Yet, the American public still needed small change for daily life. The solution was the Silver War nickel, and the San Francisco Mint's contribution, the 1943 S, was among the most distinctive and highly sought after. Each coin struck was a reminder how even the smallest details of civilian life were tied to the larger struggle for global freedom. While millions of 1943 S nickels were minted, time has thinned their ranks. Most were spent, worn down, and eventually discarded, leaving only a fraction in pristine condition. Collectors today treasure these coins, especially those that still shine with original luster or display sharp, crisp details. A brilliant uncirculated 1943 S. Jefferson nickel can command staggering prices in auctions, while coins with special errors, such as double dies or striking defects, can soar into values that reach into the millions, as rarity magnifies their desirability. Error coins, in particular, add another layer of mystery to the 1943 S. Some nickels show signs of doubling in Jefferson's eye, inscriptions, or Monticello's architecture. Others were misaligned during striking, creating unique one-of-a-kind variants. To a casual holder, these flaws may seem minor, but to numismatists, they are golden tickets, transforming a 5-cent piece into a potential life-changing fortune. Owning one of these rare variations can indeed turn an ordinary person into an overnight millionaire. The artistry of Felix Schlag's design is another aspect that adds to the coin's enduring charm. Schlag's vision of Jefferson and Monticello is iconic, but in silver, the design takes on a new dimension. The reflective qualities of the silver alloy give Jefferson's portrait a noble glow, while Monticello appears sharper, almost radiant. This elevated aesthetic, combined with the historical importance of the silver composition, makes the 1943 S not only a financial treasure, but also a piece of miniature art history. Beyond the artistry and rarity lies the human story. These coins circulated during a time of rationing, sacrifice, and hope. Imagine a soldier's family using a 1943 S nickel to buy rationed sugar, or a child saving it in a jar marked for victory. Each coin that survived carries not just monetary value, but also the memory of those who lived through those years. To hold one today is to connect directly with the spirit of the 1940s, when every American was asked to contribute, and even small coins were reshaped by war. In the modern market, the 1943 S. Jefferson nickel has become a legend. Collectors compete fiercely for the best-preserved examples, with grading services certifying top-tier specimens that sell for astonishing sums. The combination of silver content, historical context, and scarcity makes this coin one of the crown jewels of the Jefferson series. Those who are lucky enough to uncover one in pristine form may find themselves holding a gateway to unimaginable wealth. What makes the 1943 S particularly magical is its potential to surprise. Many Americans today have no idea that war nickels even exist, and countless 1943 S coins remain hidden in old jars, boxes, or family heirlooms. Stories abound of individuals stumbling upon one in a forgotten collection, only to discover that they are sitting on a treasure worth thousands, or even millions, depending on its rarity and condition. This unpredictability is part of the coin's mystique and allure. Yet, the true worth of the 1943 S. Jefferson nickel goes beyond money. It is a piece of living history, embodying the sacrifices of the greatest generation. It reminds us that even something as small as a nickel can tell the story of a nation at war, balancing the needs of its people with the demands of global conflict. To collectors and historians alike, its value is not only in silver, but in the enduring legacy it carries. For dreamers and collectors, the 1943 S is a symbol of possibility. It proves that wealth can hide in plain sight, and that fortunes can be discovered in the most ordinary places. A single coin, overlooked for decades, can suddenly change a family's destiny. That is the kind of story that gives the 1943 S. Jefferson nickel its almost mythical reputation, a coin that can turn the humblest of people into billionaires overnight. In the end, the 1943 S. Jefferson nickel is more than a coin. It is a time capsule of treasure and a dream rolled into one. It bridges past and present history and fortune. If you are lucky enough to find one, hold it tightly, for it carries not just silver, but the power to change your life. And in that moment, you will realize that this little piece of wartime America is one of the most valuable treasures ever minted, a coin with the power to make history and fortune collide in your very hands. Next up, the 1967 Jefferson nickel, without a mint mark, stands as one of the most intriguing coins in American numismatic history. At first glance, it may seem ordinary, bearing the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. Yet, beneath this surface lies a story woven from a period of coin shortages, minting experiments, and unexpected rarity. For collectors, the 1967 nickel is a reminder that even in a decade marked by modernity and mass production, certain coins emerge as treasures of unimaginable value. To understand the significance of the 1967 nickel, one must first look at the times. The mid-1960s were a turbulent era for U.S. coinage. Silver was being removed from circulating dimes, quarters, and half-dollars due to skyrocketing metal costs. Meanwhile, the nation was reeling from a coin shortage that disrupted everyday commerce. In response, the U.S. Mint decided to halt the use of mint marks from 1965 through 1967, ensuring that collectors could not hoard coins based on their origin. Thus, every 1967 nickel carries no mint mark, no matter whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This unique situation makes it a snapshot of a fascinating transitional era. What sets the 1967 nickel apart is the aura of mystery surrounding its production. Unlike earlier Jefferson nickels minted during the Second World War, which contained silver, the 1967 issue was primarily copper and nickel. Yet, collectors often imagine, and sometimes claim to discover, examples struck on experimental silver planchets left over from earlier programs. Such stories, whether myth or reality, have elevated the reputation of this coin, turning it into a potential golden goose for the sharp-eyed treasure hunter. If an authentic 1967 Jefferson nickel struck on a silver planchet were verified, it would be worth not thousands but millions, instantly transforming its finder's fortune. The absence of a mint mark adds to its enigmatic nature. Traditionally, mint marks allow collectors to trace a coin's origin, distinguishing rare issues from common ones. But the 1967 nickel forces all attention onto subtle variations, errors, misstrikes, double dies, and exceptional condition. These hidden traits can propel an ordinary nickel into the realm of unimaginable wealth. It's as if the mint, by stripping the coin of its lettered identity, challenged future collectors to look deeper for the treasures it might hold. Among the most coveted versions are those struck in proof-like finishes during special minting runs. These coins gleam with mirror-like brilliance, capturing Schlag's classic Jefferson design in breathtaking detail. A flawless specimen graded at the highest levels can command staggering auction prices, with collectors locked in bidding wars to secure a piece of numismatic perfection. For them, the 1967 nickel is not simply money. It is history encapsulated in metal, a time machine that links the spirit of the 1960s to today's dreams of fortune. Then there are the error coins, nature's accidents within the minting process. Some 1967 nickels display doubling in Jefferson's profile or Monticello's columns. Others may reveal off-center strikes or planchet imperfections, each making the coin unique. The rarer the error, the higher its worth, and in some cases, such coins can elevate their owner to unimaginable wealth. To hold one is to realize that even imperfection can bring perfection in fortune. The silver mystery continues to haunt collectors, though. While the official composition was copper and nickel, whispers persist that a handful of silver strikes slipped through unnoticed. Numismatic lore is filled with tales of coins that were never supposed to exist, yet did. Rarities like the 1943 copper cent or the 1975 no-S dime. If even a single 1967 silver nickel exists, it would not be just a discovery. It would be a revolution in coin collecting, capable of rewriting both history and bank accounts overnight. For those who dream big, the 1967 nickel is the very embodiment of possibility. Imagine finding one in an old family jar of coins, or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, overlooked for decades. Suddenly, that small piece of change in your hand could be worth millions, enough to change your destiny in an instant. It is this dream that fuels collectors. The idea that wealth beyond imagination may be hiding in plain sight. And while fortune is one side of the story, history is the other. These coins circulated in an era of civil rights struggles, the Vietnam War, and cultural revolutions. A 1967 nickel may have passed to the hands of a soldier leaving for battle, a student marching for justice, or a family buying groceries in a time of great change. Each coin carries within it the invisible fingerprints of history, a silent witness to the transformations of a nation. Today, the 1967 Jefferson nickel remains a fascinating paradox. On one hand, it is a common coin with millions minted. On the other, it is a treasure chest waiting to be unlocked, with rare specimens and potential silver strikes holding values that defy imagination. To collectors, it is both ordinary and extraordinary, a riddle wrapped in copper and nickel. In the marketplace, excitement for this coin continues to grow. Auction houses showcase the finest specimens, while stories of rare finds circulate among collectors like legends passed down through generations. It is not only the tangible silver or the sharp strike that commands value, but also the mythic aura of what might be. That aura makes the 1967 nickel not just valuable, but priceless. So if you hold a 1967 Jefferson nickel, never dismiss it as just 5 cents. Study it, cherish it, and if fate smiles on you, it could become the key to untold riches. This coin has the power to change your fortune overnight, turning pocket change into a treasure chest and a dream into reality. In every sense, the 1967 nickel proves that even the smallest coin can hold the largest promise, a promise of history, hope, and unimaginable wealth. Next up, the 1964 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is one of the most fascinating coins ever to emerge from the United States Mint, a piece that carries with it a story of history, transition, and mystery. On its surface, it appears like any other Jefferson nickel, bearing Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the reverse. But hidden within this coin lies an aura of intrigue that has captivated collectors for generations. Many claim that certain 1964 nickels were struck on unusual or experimental planchets. Some even rumored to contain silver, a possibility that has elevated this coin into the realm of myth and legend. To appreciate the importance of the 1964 nickel, one must look back at the economic conditions of that year. The early 1960s were a time of change in American coinage. Silver prices were soaring, forcing the government to reconsider its use in circulating coins. By 1965, silver would be removed from dimes and quarters, and the half-dollar silver content would be drastically reduced. But in 1964, the mint was still producing coins in huge numbers to combat a national coin shortage. Jefferson Nickels were struck by the hundreds of millions, making them seem common. Yet, within the sea of production, certain unique coins slipped through, coins that now command attention as treasures of unimaginable value. The absence of a mint mark on many 1964 nickels adds to their mystery. Philadelphia produced the bulk of them, and in those years, Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark at all. Collectors today hunt tirelessly for those rare specimens with unusual characteristics, proof-like surfaces, errors, or unique compositions. The rumor of silver planchets being used for some 1,964 nickels stems from the mint's transitional experiments, as officials tested different alloys to prepare for the removal of silver from circulating coinage. If even one true silver 1964 Jefferson nickel exists, it would instantly become one of the most valuable coins on Earth. What makes this coin especially powerful is its connection to American history. The year 1964 was a turning point in society, with the Civil Rights Act being signed, the Vietnam War escalating, and cultural revolutions beginning to shake the foundation of everyday life. A nickel from that year was more than just money. It was a witness to history, a token passed from hand to hand in a nation undergoing profound transformation. That sense of history makes the 1964 nickel not only valuable in material terms, but also priceless as a cultural artifact. Collectors often focus on errors when searching for extraordinary 1964 nickels. Some feature double dies, where Jefferson's profile or the columns of Monticello show ghost-like repetition. Others display off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or unusually sharp details for a circulation coin. Each of these varieties tells a story of imperfection turned into perfection, where mistakes of the mint become masterpieces in the eyes of numismatists. The rarer the error, the more staggering its value on the open market. Condition is another critical factor. A 1964 nickel pulled fresh from the mint and preserved in flawless condition can command prices that defy imagination, especially if it has an unusual finish or rare striking characteristics. Collectors know that such coins, when certified at the highest grading levels, can become the centerpiece of collection, sometimes fetching tens of thousands or more, depending on unique traits. This is where the whispers of million-dollar potential begin, especially when combined with rumors of silver composition. The notion of silver 1964 nickels continues to fuel speculation. While official records claim that no such pieces were intended for circulation, history shows us that mistakes do happen. The famous 1943 copper cent and the 1975 no-S dime prove that the mint occasionally produced coins that should not exist. If one authenticated 1964 nickel struck on silver were to appear, it would not just be a rare coin. It would be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth millions, capable of changing the owner's fortune overnight. Beyond wealth, the coin's appeal lies in its symbolism. The Jefferson nickel was designed to honor one of America's founding fathers, a man of vision and intellect. The 1964 issue, produced in such massive quantities yet holding potential for rare treasures, mirrors Jefferson's own belief in hidden potential, the idea that greatness can come from the humblest of beginnings. Just as Jefferson championed knowledge and discovery, so too does the 1964 nickel invite discovery, rewarding those with keen eyes and persistence. In today's market, the buzz around the 1964 nickel continues to grow. Collectors, dealers, and treasure hunters all share stories of rare finds tucked away in old jars, boxes, or coin rolls. Some of these tales end in modest rewards, others in extraordinary payouts. The allure is not only the money, but also the thrill of knowing that something as small as a 5-cent coin could hold within it the power to transform one's destiny. The auction world has only amplified the legend. When unusual 1964 nickels appear, especially those with proof-like qualities or exceptional condition, they often spark fierce bidding wars. The excitement lies in the possibility that each new discovery could be the elusive silver strike or an error of breathtaking rarity. Collectors know they are not simply buying metal. They are buying history, mystery, and the dream of what might be. For anyone holding a 1964 nickel today, the message is clear. Never underestimate its worth. What may seem like a simple coin could, upon closer inspection, reveal itself to be a life-changing treasure. Every scratch, every shine, every subtle variation could mean the difference between pocket change and a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. In the end, the 1964 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark stands as both a symbol and a promise. It is a symbol of a nation in transition, caught between silver and modern coinage, between abundance and rarity. And it is a promise that hidden treasures exist all around us, waiting for those with the eyes to see and the patience to seek. If you hold such a coin, guard it carefully. It may not just be worth a fortune. It may be the key to rewriting your life story overnight. Next up, the 1963 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is one of those coins that hides in plain sight, often overlooked by the casual, yet deeply cherished by collectors who know its deeper story. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a period of economic tension and transition, this nickel carries no mint mark at all, a quiet hallmark of the Philadelphia tradition. Though millions were minted, the 1963 nickel has long attracted attention because of its position in history, sitting at the very edge of America's coinage transformation, just before the silver crisis and the great shift in U.S. currency composition. To many, it is a simple 5-cent piece, but to those who understand its significance, it is a doorway to both fortune and history. The year 1963 was a turning point in the United States. It was a year filled with political drama, cultural changes, and economic uncertainties. President John F. Kennedy's assassination later, that year would shock the world and forever change the trajectory of American history. The 1963 Jefferson nickel, struck before this tragic moment, stands as a relic of a different America, an America still grappling with civil rights, Cold War tensions, and the weight of post-war prosperity. To hold this coin is to hold a fragment of that history in your palm, stamped with the image of Thomas Jefferson and his Monticello estate, symbols of democracy, vision, and endurance. What makes the 1963 nickel so captivating for collectors is not simply its age or design, but the whispers of mystery surrounding it. While official records confirm it was struck in the standard copper-nickel alloy, many enthusiasts believe that some experimental strikes, possibly on leftover silver planchets from earlier coinage programs, may exist. The very idea of a silver 1963 nickel transforms it from ordinary pocket change into a potential multi-million-dollar artifact. If authenticated, such a piece would rival the great rarities of American coinage, making its owner unimaginably wealthy overnight. Even without the silver myth, the 1963 nickel holds allure through its rarities and condition-sensitive traits. Philadelphia coins from this year are known to have inconsistent striking quality, with many showing weak details on Jefferson's hair or Monticello steps. Thus, a perfectly struck example with sharp details, preserved in pristine condition, becomes a prize worth thousands in today's market. Add an error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or clip planchet, and the value multiplies dramatically. Each error is like a fingerprint of history, unique and unrepeatable, turning a common coin into an extraordinary discovery. Collectors often say that coins like the 1963 nickel are like treasure maps leading you into the past. Each scratch, each imperfection, and each shine tells a story of where it has been. Some may have passed to the hands of workers, soldiers, or even children in the early 1960s, buying candy, newspapers, or bus fares. The coin becomes not only a piece of metal but a vessel of memory, carrying the spirit of a time when America stood on the threshold of change. The Jefferson nickel itself is steeped in symbolism. Introduced in 1938 to honor America's third president, its design by Felix Schlag reflects both Jefferson's vision and the nation's pride. By 1963, this design had already been circulating for 25 years, becoming part of daily life for millions. But in hindsight, The 1963 issue was among the last of the classic pre-transition nickels, produced before massive changes in coinage design, composition, and minting philosophy would sweep through the nation just a few years later. Auction houses today still see sparks fly when high-grade 1963 nickels come to the block. Proof versions from Philadelphia, with mirror-like fields and frosted devices, can fetch staggering sums when graded at the highest levels. Circulation strikes, too, command high premiums when in extraordinary condition. And always lurking in the back of collectors' minds is the tantalizing thought, what if one of these coins is struck in silver? That possibility alone keeps the 1963 nickel among the most watched and examined coins in the hobby. Part of the coin's fascination is also its accessibility. Unlike rarities that are nearly impossible to find, 1963 nickels are still out there, hiding in old jars, dusty drawers, and family collections. Many people unknowingly hold them without realizing the potential they carry. For the lucky few, discovering one in extraordinary condition or one with an error could mean stumbling upon a hidden fortune. It's a story that resonates deeply, the idea that life-changing wealth could rest in something as simple and ordinary as a 5-cent piece. The narrative of the 1963 nickel is also one of survival. Millions were melted, lost, or worn down through decades of circulation. To find one today in near-perfect state is rare, making it a survivor history. Just as America endured the trials of the 1960s, so too did these coins endure, carrying forward into the present as tangible artifacts of resilience and endurance. For historians, numismatists, and dreamers alike, the 1963 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is more than just currency. It is a story, a promise, and a mystery rolled into one. It symbolizes a nation at the crossroads of past and future, tradition and transformation. And for collectors, it represents opportunity, the chance that a simple coin could be the key to unimaginable wealth. Imagine, then, the power of such a discovery. To pull an ordinary-looking nickel from a coin roll or an attic box and realize it holds the potential to make you a millionaire overnight is a thrill beyond words. This is why collectors guard their 1963 nickels carefully, studying every detail, every shimmer of the surface, hoping to unlock its secrets. In the end, the 1963 Jefferson nickel, without a mint mark, remains one of the great legends of American coinage. It is a coin that blends history, mystery, and fortune into one. For those who possess it, it may not just be a small piece of metal. It could be the very key to rewriting destiny, a reminder that greatness often hides in the simplest of places, waiting for the right eyes to see it.